Coming up, Tzu Chi's 3-day free clinic in Tacloban successfully delivered quality care to those in need. The first phase of DaAi homes in Choluteca, Honduras is completed for those affected by the 2011 flood. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Dennis Wu. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi's 3-day large-scale free clinic in Tacloban, the Philippines, has come to an end. We now take you to the last day of the free clinic and see how this team of international medical professionals and volunteers did their best to end the event on a perfect note.
In less than 4 hours, all departments of the Tzu Chi Free Clinic in Tacloban, the Philippines, have taken on their maximum registrations for the day.
I can only continue to wait and see if a space opens up.
Though knowing the registration has come to a close, residents continue to wait anxiously, and they are not the only ones.
This is proof that we cannot wait to do good deeds. I'm truly grateful to my colleagues for participating this time. They didn't get agitated due to the overwhelming amount of work, but worked calmly as one instead.
The medical volunteers took less break time, so to extend the clinic hours, but the quality of service remained unaffected.
We are grateful and bringing all these world-class physicians, world-class medical facilities to our people for free. That is something totally we cannot imagine na mangyayari sa amin dito sa Tacloban.
Many patients came for TCM therapy through word of mouth, including a patient who was cured of his shoulder and back pain, and who later brought his sister-in-law handicapped by polio.
She has spasms in her legs. We can only temporarily relax her meridians. We told her family to place a rolled-up towel underneath her waist when she lies down. That way she is supported in the area, which will help minimize her discomfort.
Thank you for coming all this way to help us. Among those who sought medical attention at the free clinic in Tacloban were close to 100 cataract sufferers. Thanks to a group of team of doctors, these residents not only had their sight restored through cataract surgery, but can now look forward to a better future filled with hope and optimism.
For Gianni, writing down his own name was a huge struggle, as he has suffered from visual impairment since young. Unable to find a job, he could only raise chickens at home and help out around the house.
When he was little, he had to look at everything closely in order to see clearly. It was hard for him.
Upon learning that Tzu Chi is holding a free clinic in Tacloban, Gianni hopes to have a chance to turn his life around.
If I can see again, I want to go back to school.
Another person tormented by visual impairment is Crescentia, who is too afraid to leave her house as she cannot see. As her cataracts have deteriorated with age, it is up to her husband to tend to the household chores.
I want to receive surgery. I am not afraid of the pain. If I go completely blind, who will be able to look after me?
Bearing good news, Crescentia's daughter told her of Tzu Chi's free clinic, which will be able to provide free cataract surgery, thus bringing a lifeline of hope to this family.
I hope that she will be able to see me one day.
If she can see again, at least she won't trip or fall in the house.
Over the course of 2 days, team of doctors conducted close to 100 cataract surgeries, helping patients like Crescentia restore their sight and bringing color back into their lives once more.
I am very happy that I can see in both of my eyes. I want to thank you, Tzu Chi volunteers, for all that you have done.
On October 18th, Typhoon Kopu made landfall in the Philippines, wreaking havoc in various parts of the country. After they wrapped up the free clinic in Tacloban, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately set out for Luzon to conduct a disaster survey. We now see how volunteers have been helping the storm victims.
Departing at 5 a.m. in the morning, Tzu Chi volunteers from Manila finally arrived in Nova Ecija, an area hard hit by Typhoon Kopu, 3 hours later.
After Typhoon Kopu made landfall in the Philippines, it inundated fields and flattened crops here in Bangabang. The rice crops, which were ready for harvest, have been completely destroyed.
Here in Bangabang, nearly 5,000 hectares of farmland have been completely wiped out, affecting the livelihood of 1,900 farmers. Tzu Chi volunteers distributed seeds to help these farmers rebuild their lives. Caught up in the same predicament were residents of Barangay San Vicente in Gapan City.
The floodwaters rose to the rooftop and all our belongings were washed away. Even our neighbor's house was swept away by the floods.
Flash floods have triggered landslides, and logs which were washed down from the mountains caused serious damage to property. All that remained after the waters receded was mud and debris.
We are grateful to the Tzu Chi Foundation for implementing a Cash for Work program here. It gives residents an opportunity to come together and clean their homes while earning a wage.
There will be 10 people in one group, and you will clean each house together.
Tzu Chi volunteers are no strangers to Gapan City's mayor, Marisol Natividad, who has previously taken part in Tzu Chi's free clinics and is also a former student of team doctor Shi Meisheng. Following the disaster, life has come to a standstill for 90% of residents who rely on farming to survive. In the coming days, Tzu Chi volunteers will do what they can to help these residents get their lives back on track as soon as possible.
As this village is situated next to the river, each time a typhoon hits, the river overflows its banks and triggers flooding. Although the waters receded a week ago, the entire area is still covered in mud and debris.
From above, one can see that the rice paddies and banana plantations surrounding the villages have been completely destroyed. Slow recovery efforts following the typhoon have impacted the residents' quality of life. Hence, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter decided to roll out a Cash for Work program.
Implementing a Cash for Work program here will be very effective because residents will be able to clean their homes while also getting compensated for it.
I told my neighbors that we should help one another out.
I'm glad someone reached out to help us. We have already started to clean here.
The city government brought in large equipment and trucks to help speed up the cleaning process. And helping spearhead Tzu Chi's Cash for Work project here in Gapan is the city's mayor, Marisol Natividad, who managed to recruit close to 400 residents in one day.
I am familiar with the work Tzu Chi does because I was a member of TIMA. I have complete faith in Tzu Chi.
Within half a day, the main road of the community was cleared and is now operational. Cabanatuan, situated within an hour's drive of Gapan City, was also a victim of the typhoon's wrath. Some 200 Cash for Work participants have been mobilized to help clear out the debris and mud which has covered this entire school. Even local volunteers from Marikina came to lend a hand in the recovery efforts. Tzu Chi volunteers concerned for the welfare of these residents have shown them that they need not face this road to recovery alone.
A flood disaster in 2011 brought Tzu Chi volunteers to Choluteca, Honduras, after completing 161 DaAi homes for flood victims in Macovias Monjaras. Volunteers next began building 248 additional homes in Choluteca City earlier in September of this year. By mid-October, the first phase of construction was completed. We now go see how 42 families are enjoying their new home.
The first phase of the DaAi village construction in Choluteca, Honduras was completed. Tzu Chi volunteers and local residents attended the unveiling ceremony and showed their gratitude.
On behalf of Honduras, on behalf of Choluteca and its residents, thank you.
Tzu Chi's DaAi village construction will be done in several phases.
Lastly, we want to thank the Tzu Chi volunteers in Honduras for sharing their love locally.
248 houses are expected to complete construction by January of 2016. After the first phase of construction is completed, 42 families will move into the village.
We used to live in homes made from tarps which were not comfortable. Whenever it rained, the items inside our home would get wet. We cannot believe that this project is real. We don't need to pay, but only help construct the home, and we can have a place to live. Now we have a roof over our heads that can keep us safe from the elements. I believe everything is looking up from here. I can only say thank you. I'm truly grateful.
The construction project not only gives local residents who used to live under plastic tarps a real home, but also provides jobs for them as the Work for Relief program hires local residents for the construction.
They were not able to find a job before, and this at least helps them get a little bit of food on the table. It's really touching seeing every single person working in their houses. They put the little brother, the little sisters. You see them working extremely hard. You see them getting their skin burned because they're working in the sun all day, sometimes at night, and if it's raining, they try to do a little bit of work as well. Just they want to finish their house as fast as they can.
The 24-year-old Marcela graduated from Danjiang University in Taiwan this year. Immediately after she returned to Honduras in September, she joined her father, Jorge Chang, in facilitating the construction project in Choluteca.
I admire Master Chen Jian because she is a very smart woman and also has the biggest heart I've ever seen. I also want to help my dad here because I know that he's getting older, so I have to help him in everything he needs because he's been helping me since I was very little. So he has done everything for me, so I have to be able to provide all the support that he gave me. He's the best person I've ever known. So I have to be able to give him a little bit back.
Tzu Chi's Syrian refugee relief team in Turkey is progressing smoothly, thanks to the help of many local residents, including the Director of Education of Sultan Gazi District of Istanbul, Ibrahim Demir. Having visited Taiwan in the past and learned about Tzu Chi in depth, Ibrahim is happy to support Tzu Chi's missions to help those in need.
When the Tzu Chi Syrian refugee relief team from Taiwan arrived in Turkey, Ibrahim Demir, the Director of Education of Sultan Gazi, came to welcome them at the airport at 5 in the morning. Later, as the team carried out a distribution at Menahai Primary and Secondary School, Ibrahim was also among the audience. Though busy, he makes time to keep the Tzu Chi team company.
Since meeting Tzu Chi, I'm now also a volunteer too. Whenever he talks, he mentions Master Zeng Yan. He says he has been inspired to change because of the Master.
Ibrahim has visited Taiwan in the past and also Tzu Chi's birthplace. Inspired, he has been supportive of Tzu Chi's missions since coming home. Now he helps introduce Tzu Chi as he takes the Tzu Chi team around local schools. As Ibrahim gives a speech at a school, a teacher comes up to say hello to the Tzu Chi volunteers.
I see, so she once lived in our DaAi community.
During the 1999 Turkey earthquake, Fatima Kaya was just a college student and ended up taking shelter in Tzu Chi's tent community in Duje.
They sent every month box helping.
Volunteers visited monthly and brought us boxes of food or daily necessities or toys.
Babies, towels.
Fatima still remembers Tzu Chi's kindness after all these years. Now a mother of two and teaching English, she never thought she would see the Tzu Chi volunteers once again.
We always pray to them, always. And my family and I remember Taiwan and Taiwan people, and they are smiling and they are happy, always, every time.
Cherishing this rare affinity, both Ibrahim and Fatima promised to pay it forward by helping Tzu Chi assist Syrian refugees in Turkey.
Returning to Taiwan, we meet another one of this year's 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award winner, Guo Weiqi. Though without hands and feet, Guo's willpower and love for life continues on as strong as ever, helping her achieve goals that many of us can only dream of. Her never-say-die attitude and story has been an inspiration to all those that she has met.
Although Guo Weiqi lost both her hands and feet to sepsis when she was just 7, she has never given up on her dreams.
我爸爸说卖高田，卖高田，但是呢，我还是没有放弃自己，我还是努力的把90公里的滨海公路呢骑完了。
辛苦啊！
辛苦的是你们。
In order to honor her grandfather, a former police officer, Weiqi tours local police stations during her journey around Taiwan, while police gathered to support her journey ahead.
I had a chance to talk to her as she was riding and discovered that she is someone full of love. Regardless of what tragedies have befallen her, she refuses to give up. She's a model for us all.
Weiqi's determination and unflagging spirit have been an inspiration for all those who know her.
As long as you don't give up on yourself and you work to overcome challenges, you can be better than me.
永不放弃。
Agilely responding to the game at hand, unless one looks very closely, it is difficult to see that Weiqi is any different from the rest of us.
Her movements are a bit different and she has some unique areas.
The children next learn of how much work and practice it takes to live a life without hands.
协议的名字感觉如何？这个很难写。
Weiqi loves being on the stage and her self-confidence is evident. Leading everyone in a dance on their knees, soon no one can keep up.
我觉得膝盖很痛。当然知道膝盖很痛啊，然后都不能用手指。可以用手指啊。
Many find it hard to believe that Weiqi also climbed Taiwan's tallest mountain.
When I heard that she wants to swim across Sun Moon Lake, I was really astonished by her willpower.
With the next challenge at hand, Weiqi is ready to surprise us all again.
我做了这一些。
I undertake these challenges so I can encourage more people to believe in themselves. After all, if I can do them, then they can do them too.
Tzu Chi volunteers continue to promote bone marrow donations throughout Taiwan, including in Zhonghe and Yonghe districts of New Taipei City. But first, let's meet the 400,000th person to join Tzu Chi's stem cell registry.
Many flock to Sanchong Jingsi Hall early in the morning, hoping to sign up as potential bone marrow donors. Among them is ENT doctor Fan Gangwei, who never thought he could be this lucky.
第40万，那么刚好。很紧张。
He hopes he can be a matching donor.
The chance of finding a matching donor is very small. We need to pool everyone's effort in doing this.
Wen Truong from Vietnam also came even though she's afraid of getting shots.
My hand even shakes. However, my courage comes when I think about how I can save a family.
Besides potential donors, some immigrants also volunteered as translators. Seeing how everyone is coming together to save lives, families of bone marrow transplant recipients also showed up.
I am afraid, but I came because he saved my family. I think this is very important, and I hope this drive can continue.
I am very grateful to Tzu Chi for finding a matched donor for my husband whose health has recovered.
Nearly 30 employees of a brewery also joined the bone marrow registry drive, hoping their efforts will bring hope for leukemia patients and their families. In Sanchong of New Taipei City, Tzu Chi volunteers briefed some real estate agents on the importance of the bone marrow registry during their weekly meeting.
My wife underwent bone marrow transplant 2 years ago. I want to thank Tzu Chi for forming the bone marrow registry, which saved my wife.
A simple act can save a family.
When I saw the bone marrow transplant recipients and donors, tears welled up in my eyes. In our lives, it is not easy to save lives. The most we can do is making donations. Seeing how we can save people of different nationalities is an amazing feeling.
At a gathering held at the Jingsi Shuanghe Liaison Office, volunteers also promoted bone marrow donation through games.
前后就配对到了，对，所以这哪功能骨髓捐赠，哪边配对，有可能的代表啥？咱嘞，要配对人就是咧咱嘞什么辛苦比。我看起来应该还很年轻。
I should still look young. 6 years ago, I was a healthy, beautiful girl with long hair and had a job.
然后就在上班，健健康康的一个人。
Miss Huang's life was shattered by acute leukemia, but she was given a second chance at life thanks to Tzu Chi's bone marrow registry. Therefore, she hopes more people will take action to give leukemia patients a chance to live life to its fullest.
Though 75-year-old Wu Chunye and his wife in Taipei have retired, they do not let their days pass away idly. Let's find out how the pair is staying active and is being a great help to their children.
Retired 75-year-old Mr. Wu has participated in his community's singing class for 8 years now. In the beginning, he disliked singing, but now he quite enjoys his time here.
I knew the foundation notes, but not what half notes or others were. But I have learned them. It makes me happy to let go and sing. I'm glad to be able to do the things I want to do.
After his class is over, Wu heads home to take care of his grandson, who is the apple of his eye. In their retirement, Wu and his wife have filled up their schedule with activities such as music lessons and traveling, so much so that it seems there are not enough hours in the day for them.
We coordinate our time. If he goes to class, I'll stay at home or vice versa. At the times, we take care of the grandchild together.
We constantly feel like we don't have enough time. We need to prepare his formula, do the laundry, and bathe the grandchild.
Though retired, the Wus are not resting it away. Instead, they fill up their days with activities so that they do not worry their children and continue to live out the rest of their days in color.
The Tzu Chi Canada chapter recently hosted the 2015 Educators Humanity Camp at the Jinsi Hall in Vancouver, which was attended by 74 teachers from the 5 nearby Tzu Chi academies, and also the faculty from the academies in the country's East Coast by video conferencing. We join the camp at the end of today's program. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.